What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Z-Man Show. As I'm jumping into Valheim, I've been playing it for about a week. It came out just the first week in February. It is an alpha stage, and I've warned others about alpha games, but it looked promising, and I decided to give it a go because of all the positive reviews on Steam, and I have not been let down just yet. I mean, there's been no major bugs or game crashes or anything like that. I've just been playing along here, chugging along on my own server, and it's just been great. I have a couple other buddies who've been joining in and playing along with me. So I want to show you guys a little bit about this. So when you first start the game, you're going to have to create a character. So you'll hit New, create your character. It's got a couple different visualization pieces. Obviously, you won't have any armor or gear on just yet. Create yourself a name, get them how you're looking, and go ahead and hit the start button. Once you hit start, you'll be able to create your own server. So you'll hit New, and you'll get to create a server name, and don't worry about the C, just let that populate. And once that's done, and you hit done, you'll get your server over here. So this is the one I've already been working off of for a while, and the one I'm going to jump into to show you some of the potential of where you could get after playing for several hours. When you do select your server, you need to hit Start Server. Now, if you do this, this is going to create a server instance for you and any of your friends that want to join. So if they're on Steam, they'll be able to join straight into your game. But if you don't want people to come in and have the chance to grief you, I mean, who knows? Maybe somebody just decides they just want to come in and mess with you anyways. They're an old friend or not even a friend. They're just on your list. Make sure you set a password. They highly recommend it because they can jump in. They can destroy things, steal your items. It would really suck. Because in this game, your one character can move between server to server and is always continuing to gain abilities and perks and so forth. So it's not like 7 Days to Die on PC. Like when you every time you create a new server, you have to start over from scratch, which is a huge pain in the butt. It takes so much time to get your character leveled up. So anyway, set a password is the main story here, and if you want this server to be found on the community so anybody can join, you hit this community server, which you still have to put a password in. So I guess somehow you could tell people out there that, hey, this is the password if you want to join and come play with me. I don't know. But for now, I would just get some friends on here. The game's not terribly expensive, and just go ahead and start the server. I'm going to go ahead and enter a quick little one here so nobody can join in, and we're just going to hit start. Just jump in here. So this game overall, starting off, has been pretty cool. Like I said, there hasn't been any major crashes. I haven't gotten booted out of the game for any reason. Graphically wise, it's not awesome. I mean, it's decent, right? It's better than just a simple 2D indie game, of course. But it's no Ark or 7 Days to Die on PC. I mean, those look beautiful. But as you can see, it's not bad. So right now, I'm in an area called the Black Forest. So I'm going to hit M for map here just to give you an idea. This is the world of Valheim, right? And so as you can see, we have explored this one main island right here, and then we sailed north, and that's it has problems in itself, but I'll talk about that to you too. And we found another main part of the island, which is part of this Black Forest biome. There's different biomes throughout this game, and I'm going to show you a little bit about that. So in the Black Forest, it's obviously heavily forested. Wood is everywhere in this game because Vikings, that's what they needed to build all their stuff. I mean, they put the D in deforestation. So anyways, I'm going to use one of my portals. So this is the cool thing. In time, once you get to this game, yes, there's a lot of running around, but after you sock a good, I don't know, 20, 25 hours, and you may be able to do it faster if you want to just get straight to it, you can use these portals. And the portals are amazing. Amazing. You can travel wherever you need to as long as you set up one portal at your point A and then a second portal at point B. You name them the same name, even when it comes to capitals. It is case sensitive, and you can now move around the map. So I have a couple sets of portals. I've named my houses so I know where I'm going. And so right now I'm traveling back to the first place, which is called the Meadows. Okay, so this is the first place you start off at when you start any new instance, any new game, any new server. You're going to start here with all these different stones. And as you can see, I've already killed a couple of the bosses. And as soon as you spawn, you're going to want to go over here to this kind of red emblem stone ruin. And you're going to hit E on it. And it's going to register the location of the next boss. So this is the first boss you're going to fight, which is Ichthyr or something like that. And as you kill the boss, they're going to give you different abilities. And as you get each one, you can use those special abilities. So right now you can see mine down here in the bottom left is Ichthar, and when you use it by using the F button, it gives you a special ability that'll allow you to hold on to stamina a little bit longer. So as you see, I'm running, right? So that bar should be going down a lot faster, but it's not now. So that's one of the first boss's special abilities. This next boss is faster wood cutting. So anyways, which I actually tried. It's pretty lame. I'd just stick with the stamina one for now. But each one will continue to give you new ones. Now, we don't know much about this yet. You can read the stone. It's kind of cool. It kind of turns it to English for you. But it's not really a riddle or anything like that. You just have to play the game. And as you continue to find new areas and new rune stones, you'll find the bosses on your map, like we showed you with hitting M. And you'll see other things on here too. Notice I have been labeling where my house is and where I find other things in the game. This is so super important, guys, because you are going to forget where some things are. Now, luckily, when you place a bed down, you will see the bed and you'll know where that first house is. But when you create new beds and you find new other locations because you want to spawn there, you know, in case you die, that next bed is going to override your first previous bed location. So it's going to disappear off your map. So unless you're paying really close attention or you just know these maps dang well, I suggest you click over here. You just click on one of the icons, and then you'll come over here and double click, and you can even name it. So I can just say, you know, practice location, and it stays there until you want it to go bye-bye. And then let's say you don't need it anymore, or you've moved on, or you don't want to fill up your map anymore. You can either hit a left click on it to exit out, meaning you've already searched that cave or you've already done this or that, or you can right click and delete it altogether. So those are just a couple quick ways to start navigating this map. As you can see, I have really gotten into labeling things, plus it kind of shows you where you've been. You're going to find things like caves that you can explore. That'll find you a specialty type item that you need to create those portals I talked about earlier, pardon me, as well as other things. There are, let me see here, there's mineral deposits like copper, which is a very big resource in creating bronze eventually to get you better armor. So anyways, use the map to your ability, best ability, and label those things. So yeah, so when you first start off, you're gonna have to basically run around and start gathering some supplies. So you only have your fists, so you're gonna be able to punch some of these smaller trees, and I think as you hit a tree, you'll get like 3 wood for it or whatever. And once you get some wood, and then the stones are very small. Now, well, depending on where they spawn you, because every map instance is different, like I told you, I've played in a couple different ones, and my map was totally different than my buddy Dustin's. But you'll want to find a water source, and once you find the water, you're going to start finding more stone and flint and things like that, which you're going to use. And this game is all about finding the different minerals and things out there, you know, the ores and different types of wood, so that you can find different things to craft. Because once you get these items, you'll hit your tab button, and you'll notice that your crafting is going to start growing. In the beginning, you just have your stone axe, which obviously you're going to get immediately, so you can build and start chopping down trees. A club, so you can just fight enemies that are around. Starting off, you can't build a spear or a sword to start off with. You got to get a club. And the hammer. Hammer is super, super important. What the hammer does is once you build that, you'll hit it, you know, whatever number key it's at the top. Mine's number 4, and then I'll right-click. The hammer allows you now to get into all the major building. So when you're ready to craft your house or wherever you, or a little outpost if you want, you can start doing that. They have walls and doors and gates for the fence. They have the stake walls that go around the perimeter. I'll show you where I use some of that in a little bit. Furniture, you have your storage boxes, your bed, super important if you don't want to die and spawn. Lord, now every time you do die in this game, you will spawn back at that Stonehenge looking area where you mount your boss heads. So if you get super far away and you don't have a bed down, guess where you're going? So you're gonna have a long walk ahead of you. Get those beds down and make sure you know where you're going to be spawning next time. Well, when you're crossing streams and so forth, watch your stamina. As you can see, my stamina bar is extremely low right now because I have not eaten in some time. So you're allowed to eat different, you can eat up to 3 different items, and this will increase your food stamina bar and also let you maintain more stamina as you're running around. So I'm going to eat a nice little chicken leg that you can get from any deer or boar out there. I'm going to eat a blueberry and a mushroom. So as you can see, I've eaten 3 things, and that's the max. And as you can see, this bar has kind of increased with different colors depending on what I've eaten. And now I will start healing here in a few moments. And furthermore, you can see that my stamina bar is now, what, at least double what it was a second ago. I only had 3 bars. So now I have the chance to actually swim across this channel. Because look at, your stamina goes quick. Ask me how many times we drowned. when we first started this game. We just didn't quite understand the impact. So especially look at this, I have an enemy right next to me, so by the time I get over here, if you're a low level character, it's going to start attacking you, and you'll have to have enough stamina to fight, because every time you throw your spear, swing a sword, block, and they hit you, it's taking down your stamina, and it'll take it down so far that now you can't even use it. But it does come back pretty fast. But anyways, you just got to be careful. So one of the first things I want to show you guys is basically just how to get a quick little base started, okay? Because obviously that's how you're going to start. Now watch these trees when they fall down. That one fell super fast, but in the future, watch out, because when they fall heavy and hard, and they will kill you. Well, not kill you, but it's going to hurt you big time, okay? So right now, I'm just going to chop this thing up, and yes, I realize that I'm using gear a little bit bigger than you guys's, but I got to be honest, even from the regular stone axe to the bronze one, I mean, you can chop things down a bit faster, but it's not like, I wouldn't call it night and day, but it is a bit faster. So we're going to build a quick base, and there's some things you need to know, because it can be a little tricky with the building system in this game. So first things first, find a flat area, as flat as you can. It's okay if it's not completely flat. I'm going to show you how to kind of get around that a little bit. So remember, if we're in the middle of nowhere, the first thing we have to do before we can build, first you have to have your hammer, right? So hit tab, go and create your hammer. Okay, 3 wood and 2 stone, easy enough. Find the stone on the ground, chop a tree down, or the little ones with your fist, or then create a stone axe, and then you get your trees down. So once you get your hammer, hit the hammer number icon that you have it up here in your quick bar, and then right click, and then you got to get a workbench down. That is key and first, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get this down. I'm going to do this sideways a little bit here, okay? Now, here's the first thing. Crafting station needs a roof. You can't even use this dang thing until you get a roof above it. So there's a few things that we can do to combat that. Again, the hammer allows us to build buildings and walls and so forth. So we're going to get this out, and here's the fastest way I have found to do this. Instead of having to build the wood walls around it and all that craziness, just use the 45, sorry I did that kind of fast, go over and use the thatch roof 45 degree, and just build a quick roof above it. It's going to take you probably about 6 sections. It's very finicky. You need to go right above it. So you'll just hit the 1, 2, and then you'll turn it. Use your mouse wheel, center mouse wheel, to turn the item. Okay. So see how it's turning it, so you can see where it's going. So turn that. Let it snap in place. Okay. Notice, still needs a roof, right? We're still not done yet. So I'm going to go back to the crafting on my hammer. I'm going to lay another section down. I find you might get lucky with 2 sections, but normally I find it's not even worth trying to screw around with it and even waste your time. Let's just see though. Let's see if it did it. Okay, we got lucky. 2 sections. So look, it's just about perfectly under there. And so once that's down, now you're ready to start doing some other fun stuff. So let's get our hammer back out. Well, we're going to need to eat here pretty soon, so we're going to want to get our fire down. Okay, so get our and before I drop this fire down, let's think about something else too. Our spawning. We're going to need to spawn here eventually. So tell you what, before we do the fire, because you have to have a fire near your actual bed. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a bed here under the furniture icon. And it only takes, 8 wood? That's not bad. The beds do need to be covered as well. So I'm going to come over here and find an area where it's kind of flat. And let's see here. Eventually you're going to have something called the hoe, which you don't have it yet, but it's number 7 on my piece right here. You build it from, I think, is it the workbench? Let's double check that real quick. It is. So you may get it not after too long. So that's the good news. And where is that down here? Sorry about that. There's so many items I'm starting to get over here. There it is. It's at the top. So it takes 5 wood and 2 stone. You may actually get it a lot sooner than I remember. And what's really cool about this one is if you select the hoe, I have it on number 7 slot, right click, you can either build the level the ground, or you can even build the ground up. Now it takes stone to build the ground up, and you can use it to level the ground as much as you want. And then this third one is kind of like something to create pathways. It's kind of weak, but as you can see, it just uses your stamina. And you can build, like I said, if you're trying to build a small road to your area. It doesn't level the ground though, so like I said, it's not great. But what is kind of really amazing is this level ground one. And you can actually come over here and it'll get rid of the grass and start leveling your area. Okay, so it's not such an eyesore. And so you see how this area is kind of dips down? Well, I'm going to do that, and it'll slowly kind of start bringing it up. And it'll get up to a certain point, and then that'll just start to look weird. But this is useful. It's going to be really useful, especially when I started building my base down there. As you can see in the distance, I was kind of right on the river, and there was a decent little decline. So I used this tool and is able to build it up. So I noticed the higher you up, that you're up, excuse me, it'll level it, and then as you go lower, it'll lower it back down. So anyways, this is just a little tip for you to get it rocking. So once you have your bed, you hit E to claim it, but look, it says bed is too exposed. So look at that. Even as finicky as this little area is, it still says that this bed is still too out in the open. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to close off one of these sides, okay? And to do that, again, we're gonna get back out our hammer. Now, mind you, I already chopped down a few trees, and I have a bit of wood. I'm gonna have to cut something down here in a minute, probably. But we're gonna go into the crafting, oops, excuse me, the building. And there's these kind of wood wall 45s, so it stays with the same design. And again, here comes the wonderful crafting. That's a little finicky, but it'll snap. You'll find it. I'll use my wheel to turn it around, and you can either come on this side and snap it to, oh, see, this is where it gets kind of weird. So that's not so bad. All right, we got that. And then to see here, to finish it off, I think we build, well, you know, let's see here. How did I do that? Let's see here. Let's do, you have different options, but I say do whatever you can just to get it done. So I'm just going to go ahead and build, okay, I'm going to build one plank over there, one right next to it, which leaves us those two. That might be enough. Let's check it real quick. And see, spawn point set. You just needed to close it off a little bit. They just didn't want it so open to the elements. So if you're just trying to build a small outpost, this is perfect, okay? You have your spawn point. Let's say you're about to go into a cave and you're just not sure if you're going to make it out alive, or you don't have to run Lord knows how far to get back to that cave. And man, remember, use your map and create your little name locations. See, I put explored cave. I know I've been there. Or, you know, in another area, I put unexplored cave, so I know I can go back there in the future and check it out. So do all that. Now, to sleep, for one thing, you can't sleep during the day. You have to wait till it's nighttime. But secondly, you need a fire. It'll tell you a fire, you need warmth or something next to your bed. So I can't show you that right now because it's daytime, but trust me, you will. So we're going to take our building thing out. We're going to grab our fire, and we're just going to build it next to it a little bit. Now, rain will put your fire out. And also, if you jump on your fire, you will catch on fire. So don't do that. Luckily, it's not going to kill you too bad. It will go away pretty fast. I mean, it's only taking away 0.1 of health, so that's pretty cool. But again, eventually we will be able to sleep. So if it's nighttime and you don't want to run around in the nighttime, it's kind of scary, or there's monsters out there or whatever, wait till it is night, go over here, sleep, and it'll bring you back to the next day. And it'll start daytime once again. So that's kind of cool. So we have our fire, we have this. Eventually you're going to want to eat. So get your number 6 out. And, well, excuse me, my number 6. It's my hammer. And we're going to go over to crafting and go to the cooking station. And you just build it literally right above the fire. Okay? I don't have any food right now, so let's go and find deer real quick. So I want to show you this because this is the best way I can tell you to basically go. I'm going to eat real quick. To eat, remember you right-click on the food item. So I'm going to eat 3 of these items right here. I'll start gaining more health. Okay, look at, there's a deer right over there. I just spooked one, and I didn't spook, so I ducked. I hit control, and now I'm sneaking around. And now I'm going to draw my arrow and fire. The arrow system is a little goofy in this game as well. I mean, there's arrow drop, which is not exactly goofy. They're trying to be realistic, but you'd be surprised how you think you have a shot completely lined up and it completely fails. Just awful. So anyways, it's just something you're going to have to learn and figure out. Once those deer get spooked, you can hit them on the fly, but it is tricky. I'm going to see if I can nail him before he runs away. So don't worry, if you do miss one, there will be another one just around the block. But, oh, I got him. Points for Mike. I am getting better at the archery system. Obviously, the longer you hold the left click, the further your sights will get in on your target. But again, you will still have drop. You know, make no mistake about it. But I guess it will fly a little more true and sound. So anyways, once you have your meat, you're going to go back up to your fire. toss the meat on the cooking station, and then you are in business. So you get meat from deer and boar in the meadows. That is about it. But look at, I mean, they're all over the place. They'll spawn up again. And the boar, though, for the leather scraps, they say they're near like a lot of the rune stones that are in this meadows area. You'll see them when you come across them. They have like red on them and so forth. They do spawn near there. Honestly, just kind of run around in zigzag area. You will find more boar. Leather scraps is a pain in the butt in the beginning. You hit E to put your food on the fire. If you go a little bit lower, you can hit E to put more wood on the fire so it lasts longer. It will last a while. Watch your food, it will cook up, and then you want to get it off there once it sizzles and it's done, because if you don't, it'll burn and turn to coal and you can't eat it. Now, with that said, with the boar thing, I found out something really interesting that I wish I would have researched before I started playing the game, and it's that you can tame the boar, okay? So let me get this food off of here. Now, I'm not going to show you, but basically you run and you find a boar, okay? And you bring him back over to your area and use your hammer and use under the building, use this round pole fence area to build a makeshift kind of pen, if you will, okay? It doesn't have to be super big, but probably big enough to where you can get him in there and move around. So once you have your pen, and then create a small entranceway, enough to where you can put down one last... Oh, well, that was great. I didn't really build that very well, did I? Let's see here. Here we go. Come on. See, it said how no workbench nearby. You have to be within the workbench circle to build. See, I'm just outside of it. So, anyways, just small little things with the game. All right, so there's our area. He can't get through there. There's no way. So this is the last piece. So what you'll do is you'll get the boar over here, and you'll run him in. You'll want to jump inside and get him in here with you, and he may hit you once or twice. Now, they can't kill you if you let him go long enough, but basically, you'll get the last pen piece in place. He's now trapped, and he's going to be angry for quite a while. But you can now, you can either jump up top here, not like that, but make sure you're aimed towards the pen. Otherwise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw food in there. So once you jump up and you get them up here, you'll go to your food, hitting tab, and if you just throw, oh, if you want to split items, here's another big tip. Couldn't figure out how to do it. Hold shift and then hit your item, and it'll split it into stacks. That took us forever to figure that out. Anyways, go down here, pick like 2 or 3 berries or mushrooms or whatever, and once you get those, you can just click outside here, and it's going to throw them inside the pen, and that's going to start taming the boar. It takes a while, okay? It's going to take about, I don't know, 3 or 4 in-game days. So that means it goes to night, you sleep. That's a new day. Another night, sleep, a new day. Anyways, you get the idea. After that, you'll go over to the boar, and he won't be angry anymore. He's not going to be attacking the sides of the gates. They could break out, but they would have to. You'd have to stick around a long time for them to actually break out of the pen. And remember, you can repair these walls at any time with your repair icon over here. You just hit repair, come over here, and just keep fixing them. Again, as long as you don't hang around, they're not going to keep beating down the gate walls. But once he is done, it'll say it's been tamed. And the trick is, if you can get 2 or 3 of, I think a minimum of 2 or 3, they will start to reproduce. Okay, and then you'll have yourself kind of like a little boar zoo going on that you can kill them off and get your food and your leather scraps at your liking. So right now I'll just show you, because I've had mine going for a little bit. So I had, oh nice, okay. So I started off with 3 boar, and see, it says it's tamed, but it's hungry. Okay, so I hear when they're hungry, you need to make sure you get food back down, otherwise they will eventually start to die and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead, toss these mushrooms in here, and I'm going to not eat. I didn't mean to do that. Split a stack, because I'm not dropping all my berries in here. I'll give them, whatever, 4 berries here, and put that down as well. So look at, they're eating. I'm getting the little love sign, so that's good. And eventually they just, so a couple of these were just little piggies the last time I was here, so now they're already full grown. And the more they're fed, the happier they are, and they will keep reproducing. And anyways, that's how you basically tame a little boar farm. And obviously you may have to expand the pen in time, make it a little bit bigger, but that's a little bit about that. So we have our little base. You know now about the boar and what you can do with that. So the next thing from here, basically, you could start surrounding it with a decent little wall, because you will get attacked eventually. Make no mistake about it. and you want to keep those guys out as much as you can. So, do the grind, cut down some trees, get the wood. You only need the lowest level wood to build the surround wood wall and the door. So those are nice and simple to build, and that'll be your base. And then eventually, you can, when you're ready to get out there, you can build your first raft. Okay, because you won't have access to the Karve yet. I called it the Craven earlier. That's the wrong name. But anyways, you'll build your raft, and then you can go searching. And there's kind of a knack to driving the boat, sailing the boat, if you will. I'll just show you just briefly. It is a bit tricky. All right, so the idea with the boat is, in the back here, we have the rudder, right? So once you hit E on the rudder, this is how. So if you hit W once, you'll notice on the right-hand side over there, it looks like you're kind of paddling, okay? And you're basically moving at the slowest speed possible, okay? And now I'm using the D to turn to the right, and thus A, you can see the yellow bar, to straighten back out if I want to go left, okay? So now next thing I want you to notice is look at the wind over there. You can actually see the wind blowing at all times. See those white little streams coming through? You can see which way the wind's going. If the wind is at your sail backside, it's blowing into your sail, you're going to be traveling at a decent speed. But if the wind is in the black area on that circle, so if I turn, turning, you're going to start decreasing speed tremendously, and eventually you'll just be stuck, okay? So the trick is to make sure that wind is blowing to the back of your sails. And again, how do you put down the sails? I didn't really tell you about that. So if you hit W again and then W again, so now it's been 3 times total, you have your full sail out. Okay, and then if you hit S, sail will go up half mast, and then S again goes full up. And I'm just using using the rudder, you'll always be going at us, but look how slow you go. It is ridiculous. And if you're crossing an ocean, especially like I showed you, I should have showed you earlier, crossing over here, it's extremely dangerous. Okay, so take my advice. Make sure the wind is in your favor, like it is back here. And when you're ready, then you can hit W a couple times, get the sail out, and you will start sailing. Once you upgrade your boat from this piece of crap raft, and you get it to the, the Karve, it moves so much better. My buddy Adam and I, we sailed across. We brought all our gear because we were afraid we might have to fight a serpent monster, which I ran across. It destroyed my boat. It killed me. It was not fun times. But we saw the monster. We were going so fast that we passed him up. He didn't even try to follow us. So anyways, you can see. Oh, and then hitting rocks, that's also a problem too. So be careful. I mean, this game is still alpha, guys. The 3 red marks that you're seeing right above the helm there is basically showing that we're going at full speed, full capacity. But again, I'm not going to go out on a full sailing mission because this is just horrendous. So I'm going to go ahead and sail back to the dock, and I'll be back with you guys in just a second. And yeah, just note there, look at that. I mean, it's like you just totally get killed. You're dead in the water. So then you got to hit your sails to lower those, and then get your rudder out, and then you'll just go at a slow little pace back to wherever you're going. So watch when you're going to travel places. The wind does shift and change over time, and you will have a chance to get to where you're going. Okay, I'll see you guys back in just a minute. Another thing I want to show you down the way, you're going to find these seeds after cutting down certain trees. There's the beech seeds, you'll find fir seeds. Anyways, some of the trees will allow you to replant because after you've kind of cut down a whole forest, they don't just respawn. So you can replant them, but you have to have a certain item. And under the forge here, again, you'll get that after after you start finding more materials and so forth, there is something called a cultivator. And it is this thing right here, right? And unfortunately, it does take a bit of bronze. So again, you'll need the copper and tin mixed together, 2 copper for every 1 tin. And you'll make your bronze bars here. Once you have the copper and tin on you, and you'll just click on those and craft them. And then you'll need some core wood, which you can find all over the Black Forest. And once you've built it, you will have the cultivator item. So you just put that in your bar up top, and make sure you have your seeds on you. I was always wondering how to use these seeds before. And anyways, you'll run outside and then just find where you want to plant the tree. It doesn't really matter where. I've been finding a little bit of space in between them because otherwise you'll waste them out. I tried to put like a whole set of them real close together to hoping I'd knock one down and they'd all just kind of knock each other over. it didn't work. It kind of, one almost consumed two or three little saplings, so just be careful about that. And you can see it, let me see here, if I right click, and then there's the beech sapling, and there's some other ones, there's carrots if you have carrot seeds, and anyways, you'll just left click and there it is. And I'll put another one over here because that's all I have. I think I'll have two. Is that right? Yeah. So I had two there. Anyways, so just need the cultivator. That's how you'll replant trees. And they grow back, not too long, day, two, or maybe I think, of in-game time. And yeah, so that's how you use the cultivator, in case you guys were wondering about that. As I was just moving along here in my Black Forest area, I just want to show you that these are what the caves will look like when you find them, okay? And there's like two different types of caves. One is a troll cave, which this is what this one is. And the only reason I know this is because of this small little entrance. Hey, I didn't ask you to come over here. Get out of here. And so, anyways, when you go inside, there is a troll. And they're super hard to kill, especially when up close. So these yellow mushrooms can be used for some of those potions that I'll talk about throughout the video. We haven't used any yet, and I haven't made any, but maybe another video I'll show those. But he's just around the corner here. No, he's not, because I killed this one. Okay, bad example. But they are in here, and there's always one, and it's a very tight space. And the reason we killed is I had my buddy Dustin with me, and we tackled him together. So be very careful. The trolls will put a pain train down on you, okay? Some of them throw rocks, some of them swing tree stumps, or trees at you. So just be careful. And notice I've marked a lot of these things on the map. So right now I'm just heading over to a copper deposit to show you what that looks like. I think I have one left in this area. So you see this kind of mossy looking stone? This is what the copper deposit actually looks like, except this one isn't copper, right? It's not coming up with anything. So if we run over here a little further, this one isn't copper either. So what did I... that's because I'm just to the side of it. It's above us. Ah, here it is. You see like the shininess of it a little bit? So look, they look exactly the same, and I knew I had marked it. I just was a little off. So look, copper deposit. So this is where you're going to use your pickaxe, whether it's the starting one, which you get from, remember, you have to kill the main boss, the first main boss, named Ichther, which on my map is here to the south. He may be somewhere else for you. But once you kill him, you'll get a fragment for the pick. And I think with a little bit of wood and something else, you create it. It's nice and simple. And you can repair it as many times as you want. You don't have to create multiple of them. You repair it for free, all your items. That's really awesome about this game. And you'll just get it out. Now, I have the bronze one right now. But yeah, you'll just start beating into it. And it takes a lit. I mean, you can see my numbers are kind of higher. That's because I've been mining for quite a while. But as of right there, see, I only got stone for that. So not every piece actually gives you copper, which is a pain in the butt. But you'll find after you see, there's a piece of copper right there. Once you do enough of the area, you'll start picking it up, and it is extremely heavy too. So make sure you don't have much on you when you're out here mining, or build a cart if you have the availability to do that. Bring a cart with you, but just empty your inventory of what you absolutely need, and just start mining away. So I'm not going to keep doing that. I just want to show you what the copper looks like, because this is a super important ingredient. You have copper right there, and then next to any water source, and I do mean any water source, you will find the tin, okay? Tin is shiny. It's pretty easy to spot. It's this right here on our right, tin deposit, okay? About oh, look at that. Oh, I hit into the ground. So about 2 or 3 swings, and you already have 4. Tin is really easy to get in this game. And if you just follow the water along, you'll find, actually that's not tin, that's a rock. But there is more. I've mined this area a lot, so it's actually a miracle there's even anything down here. So here's some more tin right here. So again, it takes 2 pieces of copper for every 1 piece of tin in the smelter. So I'll go up and show you that just real quick. And I just wasted all my stamina, so now I can't climb up here. Here we go. We'll get there. Stamina is so important in this game. When you run out of stamina, you're not going anywhere. So, but the Black Forest, you know, again, things you'll find out here, you'll find carrot seeds that you can use to plant. Once you have that cultivator, which is really useful. You have the pine trees that give you core wood and the regular wood. You have fir trees that give you just the regular wood. You have something that glows called thistle. That's over there in the distance. While I'm on my way back, I'll just show you this real quick. So collect that and just start putting them in boxes. You're going to use them eventually for your potions in the cauldron type thing. See, remember I told you about how aiming downward kind of stinks with the spear. But anyways, you don't always have to fight those guys. They are kind of a pain in the butt. But, you know, you do need their Grey Dwarf eyes, which almost every single one of them drops. You can use those to create the portals in the future. I think it's like 10 eyes for every portal. So 20 to create a point A and a point B. Remember, there it is right there. So that's a Grey Dwarf eye. There's resin to make fires. Look, see these guys. Now look, this is interesting. If I run over here and go inside, they will continue to try and attack me a little bit. And it looks like I've lost some of my spikes over here. But, yeah, they'll attack the walls a little bit. But usually if I just kind of run over here, they'll go away. But since they're not, I'm going to go ahead and take them out real quick. Yeah, looks like my spikes are actually going down. I used to have a lot more spikes over here. Oh my gosh, the spear. You got to get used to it. And these guys are sometimes derpa too. They like to kind of run in circles around you. There's one that has a star on it. That's just a heavier level Grey Dwarf. Don't forget to also use your shield too. You right click to block, and they can block any of their moves for the most part. Alright, anyways. I'll have to build some more spikes out there, but since this is one of my older bases, I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, so anyways. Alright, so when you get into here to the smelter, here's the coal. So as you put wood in to the kiln, it'll create coal. The coal goes into the right side, which I already maxed out 20 out of 20 there. And then on the left-hand side, you just hit E, and you'll put your smelting items in. And then when you're out, that's it. And then one gets created like every, I don't know, 20 to 25 seconds. So it's good to have a couple of these in the future. And yeah, as you get the bars, you know, maybe have a box nearby that you can toss them in. And then you'll just have to, obviously, clear your inventory out every so often. This is a really messy inventory. I usually don't have all this crap on me. But just toss them in your inventory. And it'll be too heavy. So you'll just have to walk over slowly. So don't have your forge too far away. Make sure it's nearby. And you'll come over here with your bars, and then it'll highlight your different things, and just start making your stuff. I suggest in the beginning, get yourself a bronze axe. That's a smart move. And then from there, maybe a spear or a bronze sword. That's always fun. I should have learned the sword, but I just didn't. I used the spear. And then start getting your armor. Use the bronze plate, the cuirass, and the leggings. And anyways, go from there. But yeah, this stuff is super heavy. And you can't level up your carrying capacity. The only way to do it is to find the trader and to get this some kind of magical item that allows you to carry a 450 as opposed to 300. So I'm still looking out for him. They say you got to find him within like 2 kilometers of when you're searching. So we'll find him someday. All right, so that's what I want to show you about the smelting and how to make the bars. Great. So now we're going into the Black Forest area, which is I'm on the same continent that I started on. It's just decently far away. It's about a 5-minute run, and it got really annoying going back and forth between these. So when I was finally able to build the portals, it made life just so much easier. So here, to build a portal, you use something called Certling cores, and those you find from the caves. Okay, so if you find any caves, it'll be called burial grounds, or I think just a cave in general. You go in there and you'll find them in there. Just make sure you explore the entire cave, but be careful. There are skeletons in there. You want to make sure you have a decent spear or a sword and a shield or something when you do go in to kill them. Furthermore, the rest of it, like Grey Dwarf eyes, that's this little blue stone looking thing in the bottom left right under the portal. That comes from all the Grey Dwarfs you kill. You get plenty of those, so don't have to worry about finding those in the future. Fine wood, though, that's going to be the tricky one. So in the future, when you are chopping down trees, you'll notice some trees say it's like too hard. You can't cut it down. That's because you need a better axe. And you'll get to that eventually once you start building these smelting forges or whatever. And then you'll actually have a forge station as well to build. And when you do that, you're going to get bronze, the availability to build bronze things. And to cut down those trees to get that fine wood, you need to get yourself a bronze axe, I believe it's called. It's down here somewhere. Bronze axe. There it is. So right here, this is a birch tree. And you know what? This is a cut down one. I'll get to one over here that's not cut down so you can see the name. So the cool thing is they'll tell you the name of the trees when you come up on them. There's a lot of trees that the normal axe will cut down. Let's see the birch. If I come over here and try it with my normal axe, not my fist, too hard. Can't cut it down. So we switch it out for the bronze. And boom, now we're cutting stuff down. It normally takes more than just that. I think I probably hit that a few times in an earlier session. But either way. And then you cut the log down. You hit it a few more times. And you break it into two. And then you cut it a couple more times. And you got your wood, right? And this gives you the fine wood, which is going to be used to make like the fine bow. It's the upgraded bow. You'll use it to build those portals between worlds. The good news is that you can find this wood, the birch wood, in the meadows, which you can see we're in the meadows right now, even though we crossed all the way across the map here. This instance is still similar to where we started. And then as I travel out further, here is the Black Forest, and now here's the new area that we've barely touched called the Plains. And that has its own set of enemies and so forth, and they're dangerous as well. But guys, work on getting those portals up. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and it'll make it so much easier going in between your houses. So I've gotten pretty fancy here. You know, did I really need to build the complete fortificated wall with you know, the spike walls and everything like that? No, but I will admit, when they do come over, if you lead them back to your base, it does kill them off pretty easily. So I mean, you know, do as you do, whatever you want to try and do. There's a cart eventually you can use. I just used this for the first time the other day. You can use the cart to go and toss a ton of heavy items on there. And like I said, when you go into the if you go to like chop down a bunch of trees, or you're going to real far out to find a copper deposit, you know, use this cart and bring it with you. It can be attacked by enemies, so be careful. Drop it and then go fight your enemies. It's a little goofy. You have to kind of aim right here in the center, hit E, and then you can run around with it. And this pace will change as you carry more stuff. The cart gets slower and slower. I maxed this thing out, and I was going pretty slow, so you just have to be careful. Now, to drop this thing, it was kind of confusing at first. Turn around, make sure you aim again at the center, and then hit E to drop it. That's the only way. So just be careful when you're out there in the elements. You don't want to get caught. And this is something I should have mentioned earlier from the very get-go, is watch how much weight you're carrying, okay? Your weight is super important. Once you go over 300, you are going to get weighed down like crazy. And it says you're carrying too much. It will allow me to move around just as long as I have stamina in my bar, but at a very walking pace. You can imagine if you were being trailed by a troll or a bunch of enemies, and you're swinging your spear, and you're like, "Oh, get away from me! Get away from me!" As soon as you run out of stamina, you stop dead like a stone, and you can't move any further. And then you have to either drop the items as fast as you can, and then, you know, run away or do whatever you're gonna do. But watch out for it. You don't want to get caught with the pants down, so to speak. Too much stuff on you. Again, it doesn't really matter which weapon you use out in the open areas. I like the spear. The mace is good for blunt damage, spear for piercing. Hell, even the axe does okay damage too if you're in a pinch. So those are different options. Multiple fires for cooking a lot of food at one time. Don't just build one station, build a couple so you can get going. Name your portals so you know where the heck you're going, especially if you don't play for a while. You might maybe sending you to goodness knows where. So eventually, so you're probably wondering, well, if you're going to travel across seas, how did you get over there? Well, there's one of my boats, and that is an upgraded boat. It's called the Craven, whatever. But it's an upgraded second tier boat. The first one is called a Raft, and I'm going to warn you guys right now. I'll save you several hours of having to go out there and regather all your supplies. I'll see if I can post the video here while I was doing. I got brave, and I went across the water here in just a raft by myself. And on my first journey here, quick little story, I went up this way, and I was trying to find this boss that was up this way. And anyways, he's already dead. Oh, is he still up here? The Elder. Okay, he's the second boss you're going to fight. He gives you the wood cutting ability. And instead, I was heading up this way, and I hit land. I was like, oh, what's this place? And I got a little closer and said the swamps. I'm like, oh, the swamps. Should have did some research. I wanted to figure out this game on my own and be brave. Yeah, that was a terrible decision. I got a little closer. These man-sized leeches started attacking my raft, this little itty-bitty raft, and starts destroying it. And I started freaking out. I started trying to attack it with my spear. I couldn't hit him. I should have just grabbed my bow out and started shooting arrows at him, but I didn't. And next thing I know, my boat is pretty much sinking because the raft has no HP for anything. And then I lunged into the water, which, mind you, I had already used my spear trying to stab them. I used up a ton of my stamina, jumped into the water, tried to swim to shore, where, mind you, other enemies were awaiting me, and I died. Fast forward again, I went back over. I went back. I got a lot of my gear back that I needed. I lost my bronze stuff. It took forever to get that. Do not make that mistake. Just take over what you need to survive is the main point. Bring over just a bow, a hammer, some kind of axe or whatever, a little bit of materials, arrows for sure, and then just go see what's up. And make sure you know what's going on before you just know. I understand the raft moves super slow, you will see, but you have to be careful, guys. You do not want to lose it. It took me several hours to get back my bronze gear, and it just completely sucked. So, the cauldron, which you'll build later on after you kind of get to the Black Forest and start messing around out there. And as you can see, you need tin for this one, so there's an option where you just need the tin, not bronze. The cauldron will allow you to build recipes, and some are like stamina recipes for healing. I haven't done any yet. I haven't had any need to, but eventually you're going to get to this place called the Mountain, which is basically anywhere you see. Where I haven't been, but you can see it's kind of snowy around the outsides, and to go up there, you will not survive if you go out without the proper, whatever armor or this. It's like a frost resistance potion or whatever you have to use. Once you use it, you'll be able to go up there and do your thing. If not, you'll freeze to death within a couple minutes. My buddy Dustin was starting to find that out on his own. So that's what the cauldron does. Let me see. Other than that, you have your workbench, and then you'll have a chopping block, which upgrades the workbench to the next level, which allows you to unlock more stuff. And then eventually you'll get this thing called the ads, I guess it is. Ads, I guess I don't know how to pronounce it, but that'll get you up to level 4 for your workbench. And then here's level 3. Sorry, the tanning rack is level 3. So you get chopping block, the tanning rack, and which has a lot of requirements, as you can see down below, but all doable. Leather scraps you get from the boar, deer hide from the deer, and flint is just lying around on the outskirts where all the water is. And then you'll get the ads, which needs fine wood and bronze. And then for your forge, you can also upgrade that as well. So you have the forge, the anvil to upgrade that to level 2, and then I'm right now at the forge cooler to get you to level 3. So once you get all that will get you all the items you pretty much have seen in my inventory thus far. You can build beehives to make honey. Honey is used for the cauldron for those potions. You'll find the queen bees in the meadows area. You'll hear the bees kind of buzzing around on some of these old houses or little buildings that are up. Just hit an arrow or two at it because they will kind of poison you a little bit. Hit an arrow, it'll drop it, pick up the bee, bring it back, and as you can see, you need a queen bee and just some wood. Create a beehive, and it creates honey every day. This fermenter is also used with the cauldron. Once you create the potion based, you put it in the fermenter, and then I guess it ferments or whatever, and then over time it creates the actual potion itself that you can then use. I think there's 6 or so uses per potion set, so that's kind of nice. And then I already showed you about the kiln that makes charcoal, and the smelter that makes the iron bars. Oh well, not iron. Iron will be the next tier up that I get, but tin and copper for now, which will make bronze. Most of the valuables in this game you get from those caves that I was telling you about, which I'll show you briefly before I jump off here. But you'll find coins, these amber pearls, this amber, and also rubies. So collect all these things. It's all worth major money. I actually passed up on some of these before. I mean, they have a value of 80 coins each. Don't pass that up because coins are hard to find in this game. You get them from killing trolls and a couple other small lucky instances. So hold on to the stuff. You'll want to sell it because I think the average item that the trader sells is anywhere from 500 to 1,000, and they go up from there. And he sells a fishing rod where you can fish. He sells some kind of amulets and things that allow you to carry, instead of 300, you'll carry up to 450. I want to get that one. That's going to be great for mining copper and other things because it's super heavy unless you have a cart, which is kind of annoying to deal with. Anyways, you'll want to make sure you hold on to these valuables and sell them off. The repair system is even better because as I use my stuff, all I do is just spam and just click the repair until everything's fixed. I don't need anything. I don't need anything to do it. I don't need stone. I don't need bronze bars to fix it. It's a great mechanic. I hope they don't change it because mining for resources is already annoying enough as it is at times. It's fun the first 5 minutes, and then it's just can I just build and go explore? Unless you just love mining, this game's got plenty of it. But again, you just click that, and once everything's repaired, you're good to go. And then just go back on your searches. I did notice some other icons I didn't tell you about up here. When you hit tab, um, there's this, the compendium, which will allow you to learn about everything you've kind of found throughout the world. So kind of based on a lot of encyclopedia. The second icon shows your skills. So as you can see, these all continue to increase. There's some items that I haven't used still. I never used the sword, the pole arms. I've just maintained on the spear and like the clubs and stuff like that, axes. So anyways, that'll increase in time. And let me see here, then any trophies you've gotten from killing certain monsters. And over here, oh, you can you can enable PvP damage. So if you got some buddies out here and you're like, hey, let's create like a war zone, like where basically it's me and my buddy Jeff versus Dustin and John over there. You can create this, and so that way when you run into other enemy people, you can kill them, which are really your friends. But anyways, we turned it off because it was just kind of annoying, swinging at each other. But it depends how realistic you want to get. Do your thing, whatever you're into. But other than that, guys, yeah, that's pretty much Valheim here as a start. So if you like this small review, make sure to like and subscribe if you did enjoy it, and maybe consider subscribing if you wish. I have other fun stuff. My buddy Ad might come out and do every Wednesday. We do different movie reviews and things like that. I will have more game footage coming up. I've kind of been lacking in games lately, so I'm going to hopefully get some more stuff out there in the near future. And I also have a zombie series out there too. If you guys like zombie indie stuff, it's no Walking Dead. You know, it's very simplistic, but we did a pretty good job on a super minimal budget. And anyways, it was just kind of a fun project. We have like 7 free episodes. It's about 3 or so hours or more of content. Maybe even almost 4 now. I think we're up to 7. 7th episode. So check it out. You might enjoy it. And other than that, this is Mike with the Z-Man Show, and I will catch you guys at the next game or movie review. See you guys.